we are on a property that this is where it all started for us. This YagerPro trap is our first trap. Been here for I think 10 years on this property, and we moved it one time. So the reason for a video is because it's kind of a, I don't know, kind of a bittersweet type thing. We're gonna pull the trap. First time this property will have not had a YagerPro sitting on it since we started. And we had this trap before we actually were officially a business. It was our first gate drop with a YagerPro. This particular trap, I think it was 36, was our first gate drop. I'll include a picture with the video. The boys were little bitty booger eaters at the time. A lot of logistical nightmares of getting this thing out of here. Probably it's the reason we haven't done it yet. When I spin the camera around, you'll see that there's pine trees. When we got it in there, there was no pines. We can't get back in there with a trailer. We can't get back in there with a truck. And it's actually a flex panel system. So what we're gonna do, kind of what we're thinking, is we're gonna take the flex panel system down. We're gonna hook it to the folder and then drag it between the pines and then bring it out here where we've got a grinder with a cut blade on it. And we've done this before, but not here. We're gonna cut these into 8-foot sections, throw them on the trailer, somehow get the gate out too, probably lay the gate on top of a flex panel and just kind of use it like a little toboggan. And ultimately what we're going to do is we're going to weld rigid panels to put the flex panels on. And so out there in TV land, if you think that's going to save you money by to go that route, it doesn't save you money. You can't buy the steel at the mass quantity that YagerPro's doing. By the time you figure out your labor, your wire for the welder, your gas, your everything, you're cheaper to buy rigid panels than to do this. But when you've got a flex system and you want to convert it to a rigid system, this is what we do, and we've done it before. So it's going to be a project. I wasn't sure that I could get back in here today. Pivot's running. It's muddy on that side, but I figured out a way to get in this side. And so hang on. That's all I can say. Is kind of cool, to rebirth this machine that started it all for us, but at the same time kind of sad. But at least we're not putting it to pasture. We're going to put it to work on another land. So hang on, here we go. So as you can see, we've got the Tacoma and the Recon. We're going to take the Recon off, go back through them pines. We've got a little route we go between for years. We've used it to do maintenance on our trap. We're going to take the grinder back in there with us, T-Pokes puller, and start going to town with it. And it'll work. It's just not going to be pretty, but it'll work. And then once we get it out here, the 16-foot panels, we'll cut them in half and then throw them on the trailer. The gate might be a little tricky, but we'll see what we can do with that. And there you go. So hang on for a little bit of an adventure today. So we're back here at the trap. The original location for the trap was actually maybe about 1,000 yards that way, deeper into these woods, and then there's a field on the other side. It did really good for us there. Got that first big drop of 36, and then there was another group, and then we did one group here. It's been probably 5 years since we've done anything here. Trap has been fully functioning, every month maintenance, but we really want to put it into a rigid system just for portability, a lot easier than driving T-post and doing all that. So a couple things. We're all tough guys, and I get that. We worked for years on a guy's property that was an eye surgeon. Learned a lot about eye protection from him. So I've had eye surgery, and so I would highly recommend eye protection anytime you're doing this kind of stuff, even though we all don't think we need it. Learned this from my dad, hearing protection. And being married to an occupational therapist who is also a certified hand therapist, protect your hands. And so I'm going to glove up, plug up, eye up, and basically we're just going to go through and cut the wire wraps on it. I'll show you. And then we're going to lay the panels out, probably 3 at a time, and just drag them through here. Took a strap, dragged them, And that's actually the way we brought this trap in, except we came around through the woods and before the pines were here, and worked really well. So we know it'll work. And then probably we'll take the gate and either break it apart or we'll just lay the gate down on 3 panels, just kind of ease up through there. So hang on. We got the Recon loaded up, got a T-post puller, bag of corn, just to keep the T-post puller from jumping around. And then 3-leg on-time feeder. That is the original feeder that was with this system. And then you'll see the old flex panels and big pole, mine texting camera. And then over there, we have 2 gates that are that old, but that is the original gate, and it's old. Electronics have been replaced, but it works and fires just fine. We get all this stuff back to the shop. We're going to make some mods to the gate and then put rigid panels on all of this, and we're going to walk you through that process. So right now what we're going to do is get the cordless grinder out. And you could take a bolt cutter and cut these if you wanted to, but we're just going to hit them and go to town. So hang on. So you can see we've got the panels, all 6 of them loaded up, ready to go. Started pulling out the T-post. Gates being held up by 1 T-post. And having some trouble with some of the T-posts. This is Georgia clay, been here a while. Feeder will be pretty easy to take down just because we've had it down to do maintenance and different things to it. So we're going to keep on. So we got all the T-posts pulled out. The ones in the sun definitely were harder than the ones over here that spend most of their day in the shade. Started looking at it, and we can actually get the trailer back in here. A little tight. It's a little much for the Recon, but we'll balance that load out so it won't be so much tongue weight on that Recon. And so what we're going to do now is basically just pull 1 panel onto the trailer, cut it at 8 foot because they're 16 footers. And then there you go. So we'll get all those loaded. We'll back up. We'll lay the gate on top of it. Haven't quite figured out where we're going to put the folder yet once we get all that hooked up to the Tacoma, but we'll get there. Zeb did call, and he's like, where you at? So I'm busted. But really, I hadn't planned on really doing it today. So he's a little perturbed that he's not up here helping me. But I told him when I get home, he can help me unload it. So there you go. Now it is the process of eyeing up, gloving up, earing up. Got the tape measure and 8 foot, and cut it and rip it and let it go. All right, we gotta go. All right, we are at 2 hours. Not that we're keeping track. She's loaded. It's not pretty. Not exactly how I had it planned, but it's on there. That's the beauty of this job and the challenge out here in the field when you don't have much to work with. So we're gonna get it. It's about 150 yards to the field. And then we got to kind of rearrange things. And then we got to get that four-wheeler up on there and then hook to the Tacoma. And then after that, I think we're pretty good. But for you people out there in TV land that complain about the rigid panel system for whatever reason, then you never messed with the flex system. So that's what I got to say about that. It's always good to just take a step back and realize how good you got it with what you got. So anxious to turn that into a rigid system and get rid of those godforsaken T-posts. So yeah, I'm sweating like 4 Wyatts in church. I'm almost out of water at the truck. So I'm going to be drinking melted cooler water. Because when you're really thirsty, you'll drink melted cooler water. So hang on. All right, we are at 2 hours and 30 minutes. She's on the trailer. Four-wheeler's on the trailer. I ain't going to lie, it's not real pretty looking. For you that are old enough, Sanford & Son. For you that are young, just Google Sanford & Son. So let's take a look. So we got her on there, got the four-wheeler on there, all of our T-posts, feeder legs, feeder, big pole. So we're gonna test it going out of this field and got to go through another field and then down a gravel road, and we'll just kind of keep watching the load. Not ideal situation here. We need one of our panel trailers, but this is what we got today. And we kind of like trying to figure out stuff. So anyway, we're gonna let it roll. Let's see. it to the house, to the shop. No catastrophes, nothing fell over, no straps broke. And I'm going to kind of show you a couple things on the old gate. I'm kind of in a hurry to get out of there. Just for some of you that don't even know about the old gate, or you may have one, few little tricks there you might learn about. So hang on. It's kind of hard to see, but with the old gate, there was actually a bar that was supposed to be buried. A lot of people never buried the old bar. It was supposed to be buried under the dirt. Anyway, the hogs don't typically like stepping on steel. So in a lot of cases, what we're going to do here is we're going to cut this old bar out. And then, like the newer gates, we'll come in with a brace right here. That's kind of how the second gate is designed. And then from this point, we'll just order some square tubing, and then we will build basically a panel like this. So you kind of see how that looks. And just weld her up. So everything rode pretty good. We just got to get it all unloaded. It's going to be kind of tricky. So I'm not sure if that's going to wrap up the video. We may go ahead and clip over and show you how we build the panels and do that, or this may wrap up the video. But good day. Originally, I was just going to scout the area, get Zeb up there to help me, but went ahead and did it myself. For a lot of folks out there, you know, you kind of look around at the world we live in and you're like, man, what the hell's going on? You know, I mean, people don't want to work, man. They just don't. They don't want to sweat. They don't want to do anything. They want to ride in the AC, whatever. You know, any day that I can sweat, and I sweated today. I mean, I should have went through 2 shirts and at least 1 pair of pants, and use muscles and problem solve straps, and put a bunch of junk on a trailer and keep it from flipping off and falling off. Man, it's a good day. That's just the way I look at it. I'm above ground. I'm breathing. You know, when you've done a lot of things in life and experienced a lot of things, there's a hell of a lot worse things than a hot day in a field in South Georgia, in my opinion. It was just a good day, you know. Got a little frustrating trying to get stuff in and out, but, you know, that's why I like the job. It's problem solving, and, you know, and not a bunch of people out there aggravating you. And there's the baby. So, hey, that being said, we're going to probably wrap this up. We got to get this unloaded. I got a big ass salad waiting on me, and typically I'd go for a run. No run. I think I got my run in today, and what I'm headed for is the pool. So y'all have a good one. Take care. Hey, one thing I forgot to add. Some of you may look at this old girl, this old Jagger Pro trap, and be like, nah, no. That's the beauty of it, man. This trap is 10 plus years old. Actually, the electronics haven't been replaced. This is the actuator. The RF receiver is the original RF receiver. The camera's been replaced. You know, you get what you pay for. And I'm not saying that because we're a dealer. You get what you pay for. We're going to take this old girl, give her a couple Botox injections over there in the welding shop, put her back in the field, and she's going to be rocking. You know, you buy junk, you end up with junk. If you buy steel, you end up with steel. It doesn't typically go bad. It doesn't typically fall apart. And the cool part is you can weld it. If you can't weld, then probably somebody you know welds and make a few adjustments or whatever. And so, you know, we're not taking her out of the field and retiring her because she's too old. We're just bringing her in for a little R&R, a little breath of fresh air, and then we're going to send her right back out, and she's going to start rocking and rolling. And we're just trying to make it a little bit easier on us when we got to move her around. Instead of a 16-foot panel, we got 8-foot panels. We got connecting rods, not a bunch of T-posts and clips and all that. So forgot to add that. Y'all have a great day.